Hey, everybody. Louder now. We are gonna sit down. You're with me. Come on. And we're a more intimate group now, so we can we don't have to assign ourselves seats. Oh, I know. On the birthday, though. All right. Ryan, come sit down. Come on, Patricia. All right, everybody. We are going to get started with our penultimate reading of what has been a marathonic day. Yeah. Thank you all for sticking with us. It's been a real joy. Our next reading is going to be chaired by Greg Masters, and will feature readings, and will feature readings by John Godfrey, Bob Rosenthal, and Tilghman Goldsborough. Sorry, all my names are mixed up in my mind. And here's Greg. Thank you all. Thank you, Greg.
Hi, everybody. Just want to thank Rona and Yasmin. Sorry Yasmin couldn't be here. We wish her well, of course. Let's see. Based in Brooklyn, poet Tilghman Alexander Goldsborough's books include The Western, 1080 Press, 2023, and Object 7, a subject loosely bundled in a frame, forthcoming in 2024 from Future Poem.
What's up? That looks dangerous. Howdy, everybody. How goes? Hi. Yeah, it feels strange again to be reading poetry in this moment. But it's all good. Let me see. Echoing? Oh, excellent. Adds a whole new dimension. Should I move the microphone? Should I turn it down? Oh, move back. Okay. I got it. So. I've been reading a lot of explicitly political poems. I think today I might end with one, but today is about, I guess, New York poetry. So I'm gonna start with my first New York poem. La Botanica. How's the echo? Better? Okay. La Botanica. Rapid fire tour of Homefront left me long and tall. Shawl warm breath rising to touch a fringe, withers green, prostrate before paid creativity as we head back down into the trench, abyss of the basement behemoth, 10-headed horned beast with bare feet. Its conversation is dim and dull. It smells of undigested food, B.O., cum. I still want to see. Just another Chuck E. Cheese party room happy hour. Artificial light winding a path woven around north faces, highlights for kids the fact of no exit, rather man-sized rat hole, matte paint, brick wall, HVAC candelabra, the industrial underbelly of Eurocentric decadence. Blind Xerox of what was and will be, hidden engine that keeps it moving west. Big Brother, a white nodule in a brown room, bloodshot shark eyes blink behind plexiglass, embalmed and installed, left to menace capital S society with obscure patrician provenance, looking for transgressions in the HEP-adjacent sniffing each other underground. Wrap my image in a mirror and save it for later. Small screen reruns of human lying to himself on gray back. Baby boy blue in plaid beard outfit of an uncouth masturbator. Black box of clam beer reflections, spinning up meditations, and dribbling chowder-colored chatter of month-long episodes on your back or lapels that run softly and slowly, then slower and softer. A scene neatly unfolding, head thrown back, mouth wide and dressed in velvet. Find me later elsewhere, drinking nitro. I shuffle and impersonate Hemingway, clicking my heels quick-like to send me home. I want to go home, I want to go home. Empowered Ethiopians swim in every cup as the world goes up in flames. Better. There we go. Thank you for telling me it was echoing. I really can't hear it. Maybe I just like the sound of my voice bouncing back at me. Western Sketches Cinco a Go-Go. This one's less fun. Hot dust from Rodney's, cooled by fresh plums, picked from paint bucket, parked by bloody blue, gray tile, wood panel, big mirror floor, clay-colored village, 1,000 miles from Addis, breathtaking beauty, cracked with sadness. These valleys are craters packed with absence. A haunting cold breath is gasping down neck, frightening animistic connection, negating enlightened logic, them cracks spewing Renee's reasons, fetid mists of waste. Delicate drops marking with musk, me in my very own religious red headdress, hard and plastic, stuck in iron bars of green chicken garden, chasing the crickets who sing in my dreams. Green pants, red vests, white gloves, blue hats, a minced oath, packaged in pouches, pointy straw punctured, formerly flat, now crunched with crinkles, cross purple muscle, throbbing and squirting, covered an end of trepan drip, cord cranium swung in a circle, third-grade tornado trapped in a bottle, blue water spitting idle green-gray chunks. A complete corpus clenching, imitation of climax, body in motion, barking bolsalta, under electric blue, raspberry flashes, strobing spotted orange. Stop to make a moment. An offering to the sun and the moon, to the ground and gravity, universal webnet holding us down, caressing faces, crushing lungs, connecting everyone with persistent touch. Nappy nodes weaving fabric of reality, clear quilt covering stench, settling in New Amsterdam, death dance returning over horizon, full body flex, gasping jackknife, pulling slow to quick with taffy-like motion as I gobble raw frog with booty spoon while galloping in green, headed downtown, battered body, leaking pus, dripping salt wrung from Koch Bridge, dermis brushed with lye for crispy brown skin, sweet like a Jersey peach, or hot bag of brownies melting Ziploc to credenza, dip spit Gatorade warming in back seat, hot topping for frozen waffle product, main course for fully balanced breakfast, seated human, nibbling golden edge on the day he turned atom, hairy element, floating in space, contraption to carry liquids, coated with fatty duck liver during dinner at Damascus, where gray gremlins, dressed as human men, grab a kid off the street and pin him to the wall. Long, thin needles through fleshy part of wrist. Buried over land. Concrete makes sure you can't touch the ground. Keeps your feet from mother. Healing power packed into arches. Rather left hanging. Toes dangling. In soft stress position for public to witness. Black boxes turned to plastic turret. It's like 12 minutes, 12 minutes, 12 minutes, 12 minutes. All right, cool. Okay, awesome. I love having a microphone. Because you can really talk a lot of shit, and then people really gotta do something to make you stop. So it's not a threat. It's just like a thing that you can do. Okay, let me see. I'm going to read. Okay, New York Poems, New York Poems, New York Poems. I'm gonna read one more short one more relatively short one, and then if I have any more time, I'm just gonna read something that's gonna be brutal and depressing until I run out of time. Okay. This year I've been writing a bunch of poems in different forms and styles, whatever. I'm trying to be a better poet. It's called 23 Experiments. This is number 16, called Pure Permutations of the Brain. It's always the same. It begins with a note. Ongoing collected snippets. Ongoing collected snippets, recent constant sensation, which is maybe not expressly noted, something about feeling distinctly late 20th century, coursing through, spilling out in word, action, behavior, beliefs. Look, a spook in the Kieran, green body pedal jockey with a second pair of boots that don't fit, 3 tips for better intercourse from 5 dates, rose lassi, smear honey on bread, rub into gums. Here go your samosas. Gut empty, big feeling bad. Late night, took suit out for sit. Notice vacuum needs a carpet. Big Bear pepper season. Salt wheat paste. Wilmar's catered in a bottle. There's so many fucking typos in this. Wilmar's something in a bottle. Single strand brush. Aesthetic eschatology. Chinese ketamine found in the mountains. Brujas on the Whitman. Saw sharks from the shore. 108 to the water. Finish with the ferry. Apply cocoa butter on the boat. Shannon Carr show model share. Guava jelly tucked into wafers. No number white Jordans. Cycle up drive-through. Chipotle mayo. Chili tzatziki. Look! Over there! A man alive. Thing happening in body. People flip magazine from back to front. A High Point Shannon accent, 20 years through the nose, Upper West Side, love liquid leaps from cup, plur, true story really, Kevin Carpet, gotta go home and eat my kale, earlier than cabbage, later than spinach, kinda collard length, mustard green Swiss chard, blank check Preston consumer ideal, durational discomfort experience, lantern flies eat tree of hope, guts tucked in Aschenbecher, Mussolini was a black man. Look at the images. Rome is global, a true autocracy. May best beauty nasty claw to top. Man at door left some heat. Pork plas seat, moist under tie. Cring yourself. Bar of wood. Ghostly gasket. Halt flow of fluids. Dog drink dirt beer. 4 tickle weenus rain cycles. Soon end. Stop. Saddle stitch binding performance to no audience on Gov Island. The toilet is a water fountain. Man in public bathroom masturbating out a window. Island public bathroom. Man posing out a window. Pastor Cavassier. Bird life experience. Crust crumbs in my Cavassier and all their favorite substances. Lyric confessional with visual companion. People didn't know what bird body means. Augmented reality, circumambulation station. A ghost humming in the women's room. Lychee peachy grape. Traded for bead bracelet by Emma Morgan Genesis. Thank you. Let me see. Ooh, y'all are fucking lucky. I'd love to take my time. Okay. Gonna read one last part. This is like my first bit of a poem I'm writing with my friend Tyhe. He's also a very good poet. You should read all his shit. The poem is called 10-17-23. Gray dust, cover all the children, paid for, complicit in sun orange, bloom fire, gray collie plume, shake from foundation, rip off facade, tear open wet insides, 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 tear open west windows, tear open wet insides, tear omens war and ciders, tear open wet insides, tear apple art ensues, tear open wet insides, tear over weak antacid, tear open wet insides, tear ajar wet answers, tear open wet insides, tear opal where desires, tear open wet insides, 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 nuclear unit 17, which 4 were kids? Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Tilghman. Next, Bob Rosenthal has been a poet and nonfiction prose writer for 50 years. He's the author of Cleaning Up New York, Straight Around Allen, Rude Awakenings, and forthcoming Fifth Avenue Overhead. His mentors have been Ted Berrigan, Bernadette Mayer, Joel Oppenheimer, Francine Gray, and Alice Notley. Bob Rosenthal.
Thank you, Greg. So is this okay? Am I audible? Okay. Blue on account. I am told life is about apples on the tree of life. Good apple year. Wild ones pendulously spot every other tree. Once groomed with variety, now unkempt, along 19th century fences, easy to grasp, sauce and store, only sweetened by the blue sky. Green grocer apples are 3 times the size, half the flavor. Give me the tart and the tiny one bite. There's always another. The sweetness of life is held on account, easy to grasp if you dare. This is an older poem which, because this is a New York School kind of event, this one sounded more New York School to me, but I don't think it is. And now with Child, I understand Edwin Demby, sonnets on love, or begin to how all forms lend their own lies to the pack in the derby. You look excited in the tub, clutching a sort of life by Graham Greene with a blue turban wrapped around your skull's fresh-washed mop. In the promenade to the exhibition, a bourbon helps temper the Ravel, who acted like a cop, but to survive a newspaper's flaming day and tie the strings into a playpen of soot where the black bear love can play. Bitter footsteps precede the worn-out glance, and all is thrown up on a paper plate. Chance. Day off in the wood. A cloud is slow to lift off the ground. Skeletal trees bodily stand with bare twigs. All the mother trees were harvested hundreds of years ago. Some junk has been dumped at their roots, but that too sinks deep into earth. Yet if left untouched long enough, it will become old growth forest again. Mother and children will communicate through fungi in sod to share nutrients. Amazingly, different tree species share survival better than humans do, even though we are one. I walk spongy soil that humbles me. I drive poems into the ground. Pray a poet walks the earth centuries hence, stops to ponder a new poem that once was mine. Ah, sky sits on islands like a mother duck sits on her eggs. Breezes settle round downy feathers. We are mountains, dimpling sky under mother duck. Beating sun, she flies off, sputtering stars from her bill. Here's the other side of having children. Crazy, sad, true. When your children make you get down on your knees to pick up rocks, then you realize any love you give is nothing but a wet sock on your foot. Shoes no longer fit the empty path. Now it is said you have to agree. You fucked up every moment of their lives. There is no right or wrong, no compromise. You must endure your guilt. You must cry out loud after you die. How dare you love? No, you must grovel, pick up the stones in the dirt just to hold dear grandchildren near. Smugness creates a household that vanishes as bonfire. Warrior prayer for Jennifer. My faith is solid. Sunlight warms a winter windowsill. Love knows no bounds. It cannot end once begun. You hold the entire world in your hands. You are the fearless warrior, choosing life with each air gulp. You will live because your courage is your front line against loss. We look at our blessings, we gather goodness round us, we launch all of it to you. A glamorous cloak is the sky where spirits sing the sensations of your song. Forever yours? Do you believe in the hereafter? In Texas, a man brings flowers to his wife's fresh grave, shot to death in school. He carefully places the flowers, drops dead with a massive heart attack. A desire to join his lost love? They will meet again. He brews coffee in the morning. She cooks a fish for dinner. No, not right. No food, no drink, no touching, nothing physical about the afterlife. Wispy spirits singing hosannas without voices and no sound. Me, I am not comforted by this thought. Fortunately, my faith is only found on earth. I speak it and walk it, so though I won't die to be with you, I would die to shield you, so one of us can live. Doing so is all the life I need. See the mule. To see with right mind, look into your sight, shuffle the deck, pull out the mule. Play the magnanimity card. Clouds soften, background memory brings to fore a myopic girdle, usually on the horizon. Ambitions are hanging off trees. Moonlit qualms are near in focus. First step into the forest, formless fears surround Emperor Jones. Don't go bottomless. Before another step, set eyes on the barnyard denizen. Copulate your mule. Find your real lover in your arms. Right mind sees all. Peeking around corners. Dark clouds sneak high under higher stratum of fair weather. These brief showers meander the skies, cooling our solar gain, burn a little more fossil world, create more cirrus cycles that retard progress. Our old cat is failing. Shelley says he is 88 years old. In cat years, Shelley weeps, adding salt water between our intimacy. And I age 73 this week. 5 years ago, we, Cat and I, were the same age. Now he leads me as I enter my last lifetime, still happy-go-lucky fool that I am. Yellow leaves fall last. Allow the first color to strike a pose. It indicates the willingness to change. Break off at the stem in a stern breeze. Twirl its way down through the air, alighting the dull greens of grass. Each paper-thin airplane flies alone. When I was young, walking under the oaks and maples of Illinois, I dodged the attacking leaves, forcing them to the ground. I wouldn't even step on them, even though it was their mission to lay me out on the wet lawn, glanced by their gentle touch. My last poem, which I think, I think as poets, we don't really think we're writing in schools. I think we are writing for the poets that we appreciate. And actually, one of the poets that has meant the most to me throughout my life has been James Schuyler. And I think there's sort of a Schuyler feeling to this. Maybe not. Primavera. Sitting among the old men, each singular at his own table, separated by empty chairs, unwrapping Burger King Whoppers. My burger is impossible. The lettuce and tomato and onion seem fresher without meat. I think these are single farmers near me, quietly chewing the soft food. I'm not a farmer, but I realize suddenly I am an old man. Wrinkled skin wraps the back of my hand, gray beard and mustache, hair unkempt sticking out under my cap. Single strands grow on my outer ear, unsteady on my feet, eating less than I used to, driving slower, sleeping more. Very hard to open little supermarket bags. I must lick my fingers sitting in the brisk morning sun. Sun on my back brings a warmth I no longer have. The aching bones in my shoulders relax. Now I see eternity closer. We near 50 years of marriage. Love is lacking worry. Our finish draws close, but like the fire in our little stove that burns hotter when tamped down, life itself is burning through the clouds. Nothing warm nor cold, neither light nor dark. A patch of blue leads our path, although polluted and prone to intemperance. Sunlight still brings energy to us. We find the miracle needed to breathe. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. That's beautiful. Our last reader of this session, John Godfrey, was born in 1945 in Massena, New York. Did I get that right? His first poems accepted for publication were for Mother 8 in 1967. His most recent collections are The City Keeps, selected in New Poems 1966 to 2014, from Wave Books in 2016, and A Torch for Orphans from Cuneiform Press in 2020. He has a new manuscript, Prettier Grit, Under the Scope. John Godfrey.
I'm going to try standing back from the mic a little. I think that worked better, right? Okay. This poem is going to be read today. I had to check my email. I passed the news page. There was a big opinion piece about the crimes of the Supreme Court over the last 46 years. So SCOTUS, you know, is a very good name for it. The poem is called Scofflaw SCOTUS. Scofflaw SCOTUS cuts the ribbon at the crime scene, hangs Jane Roe out back to cure, drained, smoke, no grave, might rally the unrighteous. Their honors take the privacy out of your pipe and smoke it naked under robes in their formal chambers. Are there 6 or 9 sinks? 6 or 9 sleeves on clerks' shirts? 6 or 9 ball in the coroner pocket? Written dissent got no BO, needs some stink back. Narrow reading smells of skin bleach and stink ass. Close that Bible and see will the bastard swear on it. Light wavers when the high bench burns. Right hand says the left hand holds a wild card. In wilderness is exactly where we wander. Hellbent. Naked is as naked deliberates, flesh tones restrictive, lesson before dying, gray bones dry over last night's fire. Sequel in mind of nomad, land of monads, escape non-flammable searchlight, cold halogen dick. Why can't you tell she's a child once you aim? Mind the limit on grandmas. I melt my hands in firefights, dunk them in ice chips, hold them up to smoke shop lights in the borough of churches. I falsely think a ribbon of blood makes my feet stop dancing. I ring the bell without information to add to the video. Murder just outside my heart makes it yearn. Break of day states the question plain. Everything's still hell-bent. The swinging spider with white dots on black in a dream of hairpiece harvest, pale palms of hands against glass hull in death ship dream, distrust beseeching more than gentleness in kind eyes, sorrow so true it's unreal. I-terrain. The woman I dream submits to spirit and pays twice. She thirsts for words in sight, arranges them to modulate a vastness. Her eyes both look into and out. Mahogany iris in study of another's eye-terrain, senses the bones necessary to implications, jives behind a warm superior smile. The woman I dream dreams. The subject is haze. The predicate is clue. A little eyeliner don't change deep brown into tan eyes. Only under streetlights are there shadows between her fingers. Her slip is basic midnight. Nothing torn or stretched. Minimalist svelte and sheltered by this hour. Her own key. Nightmare lease. When thoughts are cruel to myself, my body helps. It folds into the dark cortex for sleeping, where upscale streets are forbidden and cameras are uncanny. Low swoosh buzz is the arty silence before lease nightmare. Shops, faces, names that used to be, stayed to fight and fell. Nightmare lease hangs like a spoon without a home. Heap big paint, no canvas. Sketch out the avenue block of cheap eats memory. Face at the register, impaled paid checks, cracked glaze on heavy white mugs, shot glass of toothpicks, and detail. Her left and right eyebrows, Never was the day they were trimmed. I'm going back on myself here. I was going to skip a few poems, but these went faster than I thought. Scorch waves. A map of juices. Follow the snake eyes. Meet per luckies invite at a well-appointed misanthropy. Deep woodwork, all the room. A table in shade. Mud in the sluice. Born yesterday to wonder about last weekend. The cult Halloween handles delicate tissues. These old haunts don't draw witnesses. Plankton stars roll into a ball, the constellation Corvette. Don't let the sun catch you in night-out threads. Sun dumps maize and wine palms into the black hole on both knees. Scorch waves roll like tall grasses. No wheat, no vodka. No pepper vodka. Sacrificial on the altar of OPEC and milk cow madness, no spooked looks left in me. I catch up on drying and feel life is higher where nerves don't reach. I have the right to sling my inherent bulb sweat as star turns off star, as this breath falls short of the last one. Poem inspired by one of the poems I've read most, and now that I read it in French, I read it even more. It's a poem called Le Lune Offensée, a sonnet, one of the last sonnets of Baudelaire. Close brush. So I tell you, I live like a new moon after third quarter high. Over the city, staring down secrets, the real inspiration for lunar months, pocked and marbled in all her glory. A close brush offends her, and the payback lunacies a golden parachute unopened in burnt fuselage. Through a window she sees man and man snug in jacuzzi. Young boy snatch back little sis when she breaks for the bike lane. Muscular natural man with in his arms barely plump wife and their son, first new shoes. Don't skip over lightly. Down the air shaft a young thug empties a purse. Samsonite empathy lost on the carousel. Moon sneaks overhead. She sees every posture as millions buy into sleep. And she watches unresolved thoughts lead to melancholy absence in a fit old man. Brick reds. I overlook memory prolapse. It squeezes chowder through my cortices. I run rank through brain barn. Feed the week and I'll be just off the corner of nothing and bean. No sign clearer than it should be. A moment of isolation under insulation to humiliate the insulter. Makes me honor enamel red envy, its white thigh-length wool clings at the crotch. I reject withered bok choy and embarrassed reverence. 3. Save the one-sided platters for living friends. To hide is not as brave as to run. Dark hair bounces. I can tell how high the heels by the sound. Esprit is a better spirit to take further. When I do a handstand, the change stays in my pocket. I never want back the losses. Last one. Face card. In memory of plenty friends. Allies who live on, spirits not saints, no alimentation, inside soundless vacant halls. They depend on the gelding of a prim reaper. The cost is chalked up to nothingness peace. Their names paint walls long in perspective reach. Allies who without reflection or intent raise the barometer for change of care. Variations complementary to their zone too far. They are not jealous and still have nipples insensitive ones, which is why we divide manias come dusk. The soul doesn't improve, it reveals to itself a hot kettle of gas that recirculates broth to one side. It hand signals memories that already appear on a page, in honor of which I shave my face card and suds my business, donned clothes from the feet up, sit down, and feel like this. My parting word is, anybody ever wants to mention my birthplace, it's Messina. Messina, and it's as far north as you can go from here in New York State. All right, and I think that's the St. Lawrence County accent I have when I go choppy like this. I talk like Quebecois in English. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Greg and John and Tilghman and Bob. And now let's all take a minute and have some beers and hang out and get ready for our last reading of the day. Thank you.